Maybe your brain never really switches off. It's always working on one thing: how to push up your product retention, how to grow LTV. And even when the numbers look healthy, you are still hunting for a way to turn healthy into a hit. If that's you, this channel is for you. Today, we are going to skip the very first stage, the moment when a product is still being designed from scratch. Instead, we'll look at a product that's already live. We'll look at it through the eyes of a game designer, someone who also loses sleep over retention, someone who's always thinking about how to move LTV, even in between other tasks. I've put together 9 concepts from game design. Together, they give you a new lens. You can use it to look at the metrics of any digital product, not just games. And you can find growth points for retention, LTV, engagement, places where classic product analysis runs out of new ideas. By the way, I recorded 10 videos for a private Telegram channel. Each one covers a different game design topic. Each one shows how a game designer looks at a product and how they use that view to move DAU, retention, and LTV. In those videos, I go much deeper into today's topics. I also cover 5 more topics. You can get access through the QR code on screen or the link in the description under the video. New videos come out on a schedule. Once all of them are out, you keep access to the channel forever. So here is my top 4 today. 5 concepts worth a closer look. If you want a fresh way to build and manage your product, of course. Let's go. User psychology. Product analytics usually splits users by their behavior. How often they visit, how deep they go in the funnel, how much they spend. Game design splits users differently. It starts with motivation. These are 2 very different approaches, and they lead to very different product architectures. Here is the basic tool, a model that sorts players into groups based on what motivates them. There are similar models for products too. They point to a few core types of motivation. Your job as a product architect is to figure out how your product meets each one. Every action in your product either meets one of these needs or it meets none of them. If a feature doesn't give the user what they are after, they'll come back only when they really have to. They won't get pulled in. They definitely won't build a habit around it. That means lower engagement, lower retention, lower LTV. Gamified systems follow one simple rule: give every type of user a way to meet their needs. Motivation should shape everything: your features, your tone of voice, your UI UX, even how you design your offers. If you don't keep every user type in view, some of them will just drop off. Not because they're the wrong users, because your product has no depth for them, no triggers built for them. And that shows up as retention decrease in exactly those segments. The easiest model to learn and to use is SDT, self-determination theory. A huge number of modern products already run on it. It names just 3 core motivations: autonomy, competence, and social belonging. Find out how your users meet each of them in your product. Do that, and your retention and LTV curves will have a lot fewer problems. The second thing, FTUE and onboarding. FTUE stands for first time user experience. It's the stretch of time between install and the first moment the user gets real value. In game design, this window has one job: give the player a fast result. The key moment here is the aha moment, when the player suddenly gets it, gets how to play. A fast first win is a great lens for any hard product. It's usually the single biggest lever on day 1 retention. FTUE is part of onboarding at the same time. Here is one of game designers' biggest mistakes. They are trying to explain everything at once, trying to show everything at once. Non-game products do this too. Look at most SaaS products, for example. Walls of text explaining every single button and menu. But a big dump of text up front is just cognitive overload. So when you explain what to do, you need to prioritize. First tier, second tier, third tier. The first tier is always the core loop. That always comes first. Everything else gets introduced only when the user actually needs it. Onboarding always feels like homework. It never feels like part of the fun. And that's exactly where most products lose the most users, game or not. This is where you lose the most day 1 retention. Before LTV even gets a chance to build. Here is the working principle. Onboarding should not come before the action. It should happen inside the first useful action. Users don't read instructions before step 1. They just take step 1. Then the product explains step 2, but only after step 1 is done. And only after it's already paid off. That's how contextual learning works. Just-in-time onboarding. Second principle, cut every step you can on the way to first value. A game designer always asks, what can I cut from the first 30 seconds without losing the point? In most non-game products, the answer is cut half your current sign-up steps, half your profile setup, half your interface explanation. Every step you cut here raises your activation rate and your day one retention. Before we move on, please react to this video. Leave a comment. Tell me how you've used game design, if you used it in your own products or other companies' products. It helps the channel to grow. It might even help me to post more often. Thanks. The third thing is engagement loops. The core loop is the simplest kind of engagement loop. It's the smallest step of actions a user repeats over and over. Action, result, new reason to act again. In games, this gets designed first, before anything else, because DAO and retention depend on it directly. Game design usually has at least 3 loops nested inside each other. The session loop, what happens in one visit over a few minutes. The progression loop, what happens between visits, over hours or days, usually about building something up. This is what drives your day 7 and day 30 retention. The meta loop, the third one, long-term goals, over weeks or months, usually bigger goals than any single action. This is what drives long-term LTV. Here is what a hot product could borrow. Don't stop at the session loop. Build more depth. Give the user a reason to come back tomorrow. That reason is exactly what shows up as retention on your dashboard. DAO and retention don't drop because your product is bad. They drop because the second and the third loops are missing. And almost nobody built them. Here is a good question for any product. What happens between sessions while your user is not in the app? If their answer is nothing, no build-up, no progress, nothing to look forward to, then the loop breaks at the very first level. No amount of push notifications will get retention past occasional, and LTV plateaus right along with it. Okay, the fourth thing is progression. Since we're already deep in this, let's talk about progression next. Every product needs progression. Games, ad tech, big tech, all of it. Progression is a system that shows the user the sum of everything they've done. A good one pulls the user in deeper, step by step. It hooks them, it builds a habit, and it usually comes with strong retention and LTV. A sense of progression means one thing. The user can clearly see they're getting better at something. More control over their money, better health, better habits, sharper skills, whatever it is. To build this feeling, products lean on basic psychology. Milestones, celebrating small wins, progress bars, streaks like in Duolingo, for example, badges, levels, challenges, and more. And rewards lock the feeling in. And here is how rewards should work. There is a separate principle. First, reward every small step, opening a new section, finishing the first task, inviting a friend, filling out a profile. Then, move forwards to harder action, one that takes more effort. Over time, a reward you can predict stops exciting you. It stops giving you that dopamine hit. So you need variable rewards. Randomizers, loot boxes with different odds, that kind of thing. Variable rewards are the only kind that keeps triggering dopamine again and again every time. And they keep moving retention and ARPU every time. If a product skips progression, it stays weak on retention. Sessions stay short, no habit forms, and LTV stays flat, no matter what else you fix. One more thing before the last concept. I've recorded 10 videos on my top 10 game design concepts. They give product owners a way to work on retention, LTV, and engagement like a game designer would. All 10 topics are listed in the description. Get access through the link in the description or the QR code on screen. But let's keep going. The last one, the fifth one, is friction. Usually, friction is any effort your product asks from the user before they get a result. The standard product playbook says cut friction everywhere, always. Game design does the opposite. It builds friction in on purpose. No effort, no reward, and that means no dopamine hit from overcoming it. Some friction is just bad. For example, extra form fields, confusing navigation, typing the same thing twice. This kind costs your conversions. It costs you day one retention. But some friction is designed on purpose to make the result feel more valuable for the user. Here is a classic example, the IKEA effect. Something you build yourself feels more valuable than the exact same thing handed to you, finished, completed, even though it's objectively identical. For hot products, here is my advice. Go carefully. First rule, only add friction in front of something extra, something added. A chunky UI, for example, is just friction with no payoff. That's a fast track to drop off. Was sessions, was retention, was DAO, but a temporary cashback boost for a bit of extra effort. That's a real benefit, I guess. And a lever on ARPU. Second rule, never put friction in your call loop. That kills your product. It filters people out. It tanks retention. But friction around a gift, that's different. That's a chance for the user to invest something of their own. In non-game products, this looks like personalizing your setup, building your own profile, building your own dashboard. Any step where the user puts in a little effort because before they get the result, cutting that kind of friction is not always a win for retention or LTV. Sometimes it just makes the product feel less valuable. The real job isn't to remove all friction. It's to sort it into two piles and only clear out the kind that's useless. The kind that costs you retention for nothing back. So, we covered 5 concepts from game design. Together, they give you a new lens on retention, LTV, and engagement. Get the psychology wrong, and onboarding teaches the wrong thing. Get the UX wrong, and engagement loops never fire, because users don't understand what just happened. Skip progression, and variable rewards, and no habit ever forms. Retention and LTV just sit where they started, no matter how many notifications you send. Game design helps non-game products, not because you need to turn your products into a game. It helps because after 100 years, it's the one discipline built to design behavior, not just tasks. And it measures success in exactly the metrics you already care about. Churn, activation, engagement, retention, ARPU, LTV, DAO, and more. You know these numbers better than me. So tell me, do you borrow ideas from other fields, other industries, to see your product differently? To move your retention and your LTV? Drop your thoughts in the comments. It will be really very interesting to read. And don't forget, there is a closed private channel. Over 10 days, I'm posting 10 videos breaking down game design concepts. Use them to find new, fresh ideas for your product retention, your product LTV, your metrics. If you want me to audit your product, to find real ways to improve retention, LTV, or engagement, just email me. The address is in description too. Bye for now. Stay tuned.